This is a recap on Fight Club, our storyteller, as he peers down the barrel of a firearm that has been stuck in his mouth. The weapon is held by a man named Tyler who checks his watch. Counting down to ground zero proceeding, he inquires as to whether the storyteller has anything to say. As Tyler watches out of the great ascent window to the dull city underneath them, the storyteller reviews exactly the way in which he met Tyler prior to halting himself and carrying us to the start of the story. The storyteller lets us know he hasn't dozed for a considerable length of time, encountering episodes of fly slack notwithstanding the regular pressure of his situation. In the event that he can't rest, he rides the channels or peruses Fernie lists, buying the following piece of style to add to his loft. He goes to his primary care physician looking for help. However, all the specialist will do is recommend a natural enhancement rather than medications, and that the storyteller visit a care group so that testicular malignant growth could see genuine agony. There, the storyteller meets Robert Sway Paulson, the large mussy and an ex-jock and steroid client who experiences an outrageous instance of gynecomastia because of chemical treatment after his gonads were taken out. The storyteller at last discovers a sense of harmony and begins sobbing uncontrollably. The close-to-home delivery permits him to rest, and he in this manner becomes dependent on help gatherings, outlining his week going to various gatherings and pretending disease. The presence of a lady named Marla, vocalist, tosses the storyteller's framework messed up. He perceives her as a traveler, having seen her at numerous gatherings, including testicular malignant growth, and he is upset by her misleads, where he can't rest any longer. After one gathering, he faces her. She contends that she's doing precisely the exact thing he does and jests that the gatherings are less expensive than a film and there's free espresso. Rather than ratting each other out, they consent to separate the week and trade numbers. On a trip back from one of his excursions for work, the storyteller meets Tyler Durden. Tyler offers a special point of view on crisis methodology manuals in the plane, and they start up an easygoing discussion. Tyler is a cleanser sales rep, on the off chance that he's not filling in for late shifts as a projectionist and slipping pieces of pornography between reels. The storyteller shows up at the baggage carousel to find that his bag has been seized, in all probability because of a baffling vibration, before he taxis home. Nonetheless, home, a 15th-story condo, has been impacted into the night by what was estimated to be a flawed gas line lighted by a flash from the cooler. Having no place to go, the storyteller finds Tyler's business card and hits him up. They meet in a parking area behind a bar where Tyler welcomes the storyteller to request to come live with him, on one condition, that the storyteller hit Tyler as hard as possible. The storyteller, however baffled, consents, and they take part in a clinch-hand battle prior to sharing several beverages. The experience is shockingly euphoric, and the storyteller and Tyler return to Tyler's incapacitated house, where obviously Tyler is crouching. Finding their little battling bunch developing, Tyler lays out a formal battle club in the cellar of the bar where they had their most memorable battle. Participation rapidly increments, and Tyler and the storyteller style a progression of rules, the initial two being you don't discuss battle club. The principles are reliably broken, with individuals welcoming their companions to go along with them. Consistently, Tyler demonstrates his clever, if unconventional and improper, seize on life. The storyteller gets together with Marla by some coincidence, telling her that he hasn't gone to some other gatherings since he's joined another care group for men, as it were. While he actually treats her with gentle disdain, obviously he thinks about her with interest. He finds later that Tyler got the telephone, followed the call to Marla's home, and took her back to the house. The storyteller's awe affronts her, and she leaves in disdain. Tyler enters the kitchen and euphorically uncovers that he and Marla had intercourse the prior night. He additionally seriously makes the storyteller guarantee that he won't ever specify Tyler to Marla. That evening, the storyteller joins Tyler while he takes human fat out of the dumpster of a liposuction center. Tyler says that the best fat for making the cleanser he sells comes from people. Back in their kitchen, Tyler tells the storyteller the best way to deliver fat from the fat. In the wake of making sense of a piece about the historical backdrop of soap making, Tyler establishes a wet kiss on the rear of the storyteller's hand and dumps unadulterated lye on the spot. Tyler won't allow the storyteller to wash the lye off his hand, saying that water will deteriorate the consume, and lets the storyteller know that the consume is a transitional experience. Tyler has consumed his own hand in an indistinguishable manner. Tyler additionally powers the storyteller to acknowledge faithfulness to him and afterward kills the ignite with vinegar. Afterward, when they meet with a beauty care product salesman at a retail chain, the storyteller comments that Tyler's cleanser sells at an exceptionally significant expense. He permits Lou, the proprietor of the bar where their battle club is held, to pummel him prior to hacking blood all over him and requesting to remain in the storm cellar. Shocked, Lou concurs. Tyler gives the club individuals a schoolwork task. They will all provoke a total outsider and lose. Involving his capable abilities in cleanser making, Tyler has transformed the storm cellar of the house into a research center where he utilizes cleanser and different fixings to make explosives. Tyler and the storyteller keep overseeing Battle Club, yet this time at an entirely different recurrence. Getting flack at work, the storyteller at last defies his chief with information about unacceptable practice and haggles to telecommute with expanded pay to keep his mouth shut. At the point when his supervisor items and calls security, the storyteller pounds himself seriously so that, when security shows up, they are persuaded to think that the storyteller's manager attacked his representative. Their activities don't be ignored, however Tyler figures out how to show the lead examiner that the very individuals he's hunting are those that they rely upon. Servers, transport drivers, sewer designers, and the sky is the limit from they compromise the police boss with maiming and the examination is cancelled. Where each newcomer is put through a thorough time of commencement and preparing and where the most recent plans are brought forth. While venture pandemonium develops, the storyteller starts to feel increasingly more far off from Tyler and desire sets in. As they leave this battle club meeting, Tyler drives the storyteller and two individuals in an enormous Lincoln Town vehicle. In the downpour, Tyler insults the storyteller, idea that he hasn't even started to carry on with his life to his fullest potential. At the point when he permits the vehicle to float into cars moving the opposite direction, Tyler admonishes the storyteller for being powerless and unfortunate. The storyteller at long last yields. Tyler allows the vehicle to float and they hammer head-on into another vehicle. They rise out of the disaster area with Tyler shouting that the storyteller has another daily routine in view of his experiencing through a brush with death. The storyteller is left at home with an always expanding band of pandemonium individuals who stare at the TV and snicker at their plugged destructive incidents. At the point when the storyteller requests to find out about their underhandedness, Sway tells him the first rule of task commotion is you don't get clarification on some pressing issues. Later Weave is killed during a messed up harm activity and the storyteller looks to disband the gathering before things gain out of influence. He attempts to find Tyler and finds a rundown of telephone numbers he has of late utilized. The storyteller trails the rundown all around the nation, finding that battle clubs have grown all over. At one specific bar, the barkeep tends to the storyteller as sir, which prompts the storyteller to inquire as to whether he knows him. In shock, the storyteller gets back to his lodging and calls up Marla, inquiring as to whether they've at any point engaged in sexual relations. However bothered, Marla affirms their relationship and states that she knows him as Tyler Durden. Marla hangs up and Tyler out of nowhere shows up in the room and defies the storyteller, letting him know he broke his guarantee to not talk about Tyler to Marla. A couple of moments of discussion affirms that they are, to be sure, one individual. The storyteller has a sleeping disorder. He can't rest in this way. At whatever point he assumes he is, Tyler's persona dominates. At the point when he awakens, he finds one more telephone list close to him with brings from everywhere the country. He gets back to his home to find it totally void. However, one release board yields a showcase of envelopes specifying specific structures inside the monetary region. In a frenzy, the storyteller gets all the data and reports himself to the nearby police. In any case, in the wake of telling the examiner all that he knows and being left with two officials, the storyteller finds that the officials are anarchy individuals and they let him know that they were told by him to take the bundles of anybody who obstructed task mayhem, even him. The storyteller figures out how to escape by taking one of the officials' guns and races to one of the structures set for destruction. He finds a plain van in the parking structure loaded up with dynamite and endeavors to incapacitate the bomb. Tyler shows up and urges him, yet the storyteller effectively incapacitates the bomb. He and Tyler take part in a wild battle which shows up strangely on the observation cameras since the storyteller is just battling himself. The Tyler character wins and reactivates the bomb and the storyteller carries himself to another structure where they can securely watch the annihilation. Individuals who work in the structures are all pandemonium individuals, totally mindful of the arrangement. Close to limit, the storyteller comes to understand that anything Tyler does, he can do. He sees Tyler with the weapon in his grasp and understands that it's in his grasp. He puts it up to his own jaw and advises Tyler to pay attention to him. He says that his eyes are open and afterward places the firearm in his mouth and pulls the trigger. And Tyler is killed with a vast injury to the rear of his head. As the storyteller recuperates, individuals from Undertaking Disorder show up with snacks and Marla close by. Tyler's injuries, the commotion individuals abandon Marla with him to bring a few clinical supplies. They watch as the explosives go off and the structures break down.